All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a psychological puzzle that I guarantee affects every single one of us. We're calling it the Willpower Paradox. And we're going to unpack it using the work of two incredible and very different thinkers, a French pharmacist named Émile Coué and a mystic named Neville Goddard. They were worlds apart, but you know what? They came up with the exact same mind-blowing solution. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been lying in bed just trying so hard to fall asleep, and all you do is get more and more awake? Or, you're trying to remember someone's name, and the more you force it, the further it slips away. It's so frustrating. But listen, this isn't some personal flaw. It's actually a fundamental rule for how our minds are wired. And there's a name for this. Émile Coué called it the law of reversed effort. And this is a total game changer, folks. It basically says that anytime your willpower goes head-to-head with your imagination will win every single time. So trying to just brute force your way through a mental block, it's a losing battle from the start. Coué had this absolutely perfect way to illustrate it. Okay, picture a wooden plank just lying on the ground. You could walk across it, no problem, right? Easy. Your imagination says, yeah, this is simple, and your will is totally on board. But now, let's take that exact same plank and place it between two skyscrapers. Whoa! Now your willpower is screaming, I will not fall, I will not fall. But what's your imagination doing? It's playing a horror movie in your head, right? It's picturing you falling, the wind, the height, and that image paralyzes you. Imagination wins, hands down. So why does this happen? Why is our mind seemingly at war with itself? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because both Coué and Goddard said the root cause is the same. Our consciousness isn't one thing. It's divided. Let's dig into that. At the very heart of their work is this idea. You have two minds. You've got your conscious mind, that's the one you're using to listen to me right now, the one that thinks and analyzes. And then you have the subconscious mind, this huge, powerful, silent partner that's really running the show behind the scenes. And this table here illustrates the difference brilliantly. Neville Goddard used these amazing metaphors. He said your conscious mind is the gardener. It's personal. It's selective. It gets to choose the seeds. It lives in the world of effects, reacting to things. But the subconscious, that's the garden. It's the womb of creation. It is totally impersonal and non-selective. It doesn't judge the seeds. It just takes whatever you give it and gets to work growing it. It's the realm of cause. And that distinction, that is everything. Because if you want to change what's growing in your garden, you can't just stand there and yell at the weeds, right? You have to change the seeds you're planting. And that means you have to learn to speak the language of that powerful, silent partner, the subconscious. And here is the secret. Your subconscious doesn't speak the language of willpower. It doesn't respond to logical arguments or commands or force. Trying to command your subconscious to change is, well, it's like shouting orders at soil and expecting roses to pop up. You're just using the wrong tool for the job. So what language does it understand? What's the right tool? It understands the language of vivid imagination and deep, sustained feeling. That's it. Those are the inputs it accepts without question. What you vividly imagine and what you deeply feel to be true becomes the blueprint for your reality. Neville Goddard just nailed it with this quote. He said, "Feeling is the one and only medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious." Let that sink in. An idea without a feeling is just a passing thought. It's powerless. But an idea that's wrapped in a powerful feeling, now that becomes an instruction. That becomes a seed planted directly into that fertile ground. Okay, so theory is great, right? But how do we actually do this? How do we consciously plant the seeds we actually want to grow? Well, thankfully, both Coué and Goddard gave us simple, powerful techniques to do just that, to access what Goddard called the gateways to the subconscious. So first up is Émile Coué's method. He called it conscious autosuggestion. It's a bit of a formal name, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the conscious, deliberate act of suggesting an idea to yourself, with the goal of bypassing your critical, conscious mind and planting it right where it matters. He created this simple, universal mantra. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. The genius here is how gentle and believable it is. It's not making some huge claim like I am perfect that your conscious mind would immediately reject. No, it's just suggesting this steady, believable improvement, which the subconscious can easily accept and start working on. And his method is just beautifully simple. You do it twice a day, in that drowsy, hazy state right after you wake up or just before you fall asleep. And you just gently murmur the phrase 20 times. Now, the key here, and don't miss this, is no effort. It should be mechanical, like a lullaby. He even suggested using a string with 20 knots to keep count, so your conscious mind doesn't even have to think about it. You're basically just lulling that inner critic to sleep and whispering directly to the boss. Neville Goddard's technique is similar, but it's more focused on a very specific outcome. So, right before you sleep, you get completely relaxed. Then, instead of a mantra, you ask yourself a question. How would I feel if my wish were already a fact? You don't worry about the how or the when. You just hunt for that specific emotion. Is it relief, joy, satisfaction? You capture it, and then you hold on to that feeling as you drift off to sleep. You're literally impressing your subconscious with the feeling of the finished product. Okay, so let's bring all this home. What's the big takeaway from all of this? What's the one thing to remember? It all comes back to that powerful central metaphor. You are the gardener of your own mind. Your conscious mind is the one choosing what to focus on. Your imagination and your feelings, those are the seeds. And your subconscious is that fertile, non-judgmental garden that will grow absolutely anything you plant in it. It doesn't care, it just grows. Which means your reality right now, your health, your confidence, your success, it's just a reflection of the seeds you've been planting, consciously or not. So really, the question isn't whether you can change your life. It's about what you will choose to cultivate. As you get ready for sleep tonight, remember this. You aren't just ending your day. You're planting the garden that will become your tomorrow. So, what seeds will you choose to plant?